Thank you for being here. This is exciting. Doom Patrol. You're all pretending you know what Doom Patrol is, aren't you? Well, they don't wear capes, and believe me, they're not the Justice League. So back in 1963, creators Arnold Drake and Bruno Premiani introduced the seminal cast of Doom Patrol, and they represented a fairly motley crew of complaining misfits. There was Robotman. He was a race car driver who crashed his car, and his brain alone survives inside of a prosthetic body. There's Crazy Jane, who has a panoply of some 64 distinct personalities who materialize without notice. There's Elastigirl, one-time bombshell movie starlet, now able to stretch her limbs way more than any role she ever played. And there's Negative Man. He's a bandage-wrapped former test jet pilot who's now possessed with incendiary effect by a mercurial radioactive spirit. And they're all led by Dr. Niles Calder, also known as the Chief. He's an irascible genius. And each member who possessed physical and psychological flaws, they transformed those challenges, which ultimately were the very things that gave them their super strengths and powers. But mind you that, yes, they may have resembled action superheroes on the surface, but underneath, they were personally conflicted and only doing the very best that they could when they were confronted by an increasingly hostile society, an albeit imaginary world that threatened more and more to become real. Can anyone relate? That's what I thought. So back in the day, Doom Patrol tread a fairly obscure path in comic book lore. And I'm going to go off the monitor for a second here because I brought my copy. So this is Doom Patrol, and it's Grant Morrison's, and I'm just going to read you something real quick that I found helpful. This is just an opening letter, word from the author. And he describes what he was doing when he sat down to work on this, what he wanted to do. It says, I decided straight away that I would attempt to restore the sense of the bizarre that made the original Doom Patrol so memorable. I wanted to reconnect with the fundamental, radical concept that here is a team composed of handicapped people. These were no clean-limbed, wish fulfillment super adolescents who could model Calvins in their spare time. This was a group of people with serious physical problems and perhaps one too many bats in the belfry. Well, the Doom Patrol inhabited maybe 6, maybe 7 separate incarnations as a comic book before the characters were all killed off. And then they were reincarnated because comic book. And then in 1988, when Grant Morrison, when he came to this material with fresh eyes and remembered that from reading it as a kid, it frightened him very much, was a very good reason to have another go at it. And we're lucky for that because it was awesome. Just ask the friendly fanboys on Reddit. Glad to confirm it. So look, here we are today, taking something old, making it new again, and rolling out Doom Patrol. as being cinematic, episodic, and exclusive content from DC Universe on December 12th is a real step forward in storytelling. The cast. We've got Niles Calder, also known as the Chiefs, being played by Timothy Dalton. Rita Farr, also known as the Last Woman, being played by April Bowlby. Character Kay Chalice, also known as Crazy Jane, is being played by Diane Guerrero. She has her work cut out for her. It's going to be fun to watch. And Joey Wade is Cyborg. And there's my part in it. I play Cliff Steele, race car driver, also known as Robotman, who was played on set in a bitchin' super suit, may I say, by a really great guy, wonderful actor, physical performer, comedian. He's called Riley Shanahan, and I want to say that Riley and I went to the same conservatory training college, 24 years apart. We were trained in the same aspects of the theater, mask work, movement, stage combat, all that thespian stuff, sometimes by the same professor. So that was a relief to me, knowing that I don't have to walk around in the super suit and sweat myself to death. And there's a real strong kid who knows what he's doing, and I can kind of be there in a way, in spirit, and get away with just voicing the character from the safety and comfort of an 80-yard stage. It's complicated. We haven't figured out how we're going to do it yet, but it'll be awesome, and I'll come back and answer questions about that process. Oh, I almost forgot. The villain, Mr. Nobody, is being played by Alan Tudyk.